And welcome back to another look into Metashape. And today we will take a look in how to merge and join two different models of the same object. Because in our case, we do have an object here, this very nice rock. But we photograph it from this direction, so there will be a hole in the bottom of this rock. So we took pictures like this, and then we took pictures, there's our divider by the way, and here we took pictures like this, put a bit soft cushions on the bottom and turn it around. So later we can then have two halves of the object and can put them together in our 3D object. And this is what we will look into. A short reminder, exception in the beginning, there is also in the teaching wiki page about it, which mentions the use of markers in Metashape, which is a feature only available in Metashape Pro. So when you're working with Metashape Standard, which you will in the lab, you don't have this option, so we will only work with the automatic alignment and merging of two different pieces. But if you have Metashape Pro available, which we also have in the Institute, but not on every PC or on a project, then you can also use markers. They also play along when we go into reference. This because I have here the Pro version as well. We have this reference tab, because then you can put individual points where the program then can, orient itself on. But unfortunately, we cannot do that today. So we will work with the normal automatic alignment. But first of all, we need to create two models. One model of the upside of the object and one model of the lower side of the object. And to do that, we don't do two projects. We do two chunks. So we have one chunk already, which is a chunk of data, one package, might say, and we will call it top. And then we need another one, so we can either press this small button on top here, or you press right click and say add chunk, and then you can also rename it to bottom. And you can switch between those chunks by double clicking them, and you see the bold one with the bold font is the one which is active right now. First of all, we need to save our project file, our Metashape project. So we go again on save, put it here at Metashape. There's my first run. We will call it Metashape Merging 2. Put it here and save it. So with that done, we then go to our normal workflow, add our photos. Now we are in the top, so we go to images, and there we can see. We start with the first one, and we scroll down, and somewhere there's divider, where I put my hand here. That's the dividing image, so that's where the bottom start. So we go from here, from 1 to 55, and press shift, and we can select only those and say open. And then you can see we have them here, and you can see also the images are now in that chunk. Then we double press the bottom and add our photos again here, and therefore we go to 57, and further below we don't need to add image there we missed some. We don't need to add image 56 because we don't need it's not a good image for the Metashape, but it's for us basically. So we open this one as well, and then we have to align the images. If you want, you can do that. Otherwise, I will provide you with the step already processed to save some processing time. So to be a bit quicker, don't have to do it first top and then bottom, because it will only, when I now click on align photos, it will only do the bottom chunk. But we don't want that. We want to have a coffee while the PC is processing, so we go on workflow, and this time on batch processing, because batch processing is like a scheduler. So we press that, and then you see this, and then we can add several steps after each other, but that's not even what we want to do. We just want to do the align photos. So we go on add, so to add a processing step, and then we can choose which job type, and this is everything what MetaShape can do, so it's really a lot. But we want align photos, it's quite on top here, align photos. And you can see already it's applied to all chunks, so it will do both after one after another. Then here in the bottom we have the same settings as we have with our normal image when we just go directly online image, but a bit more reduced, I'd say. And we also apply the same settings. I will go on high, so you will have a high setup when you start with it. But if you want to process it yourself, you can choose whatever you want, play around with it, and then I press OK and OK again, and now you can see that it will align 2 times. One of 2 up, 0 of 2 are processed now, and I will leave it running, and I will be back as soon as it's finished. See you over there. Our images are aligned and they look so far so good, and because the area is so small, we keep it like this, and we just continue with the dense point cloud, because for this the dense point cloud is way more applicable. And here already I put the dense point cloud in, so you can also put this. Yeah, it's the same thing with the batch process. It's really a power tool to do. We already have the aligned in photos, so we just leave it like this, and we press OK again and leave it running again, and this will take a bit more time, I'm afraid, but hopefully not too long. And then I will be right back for you. See you over there. The point cloud processing done, we now have our 2 point clouds, and we can see we have our scale very well, our object, of course, and the turntable with its white surroundings. We can also check this is the bottom. Now we can check also the top, and you can see the top is the same but the other way around. Yes. And now we need to cut everything except for the scale, of course, and the object. The scale is then needed later for referencing, where the referencing also is a pro feature because we need the markers for that. But for the sake of the exercise, you can also leave it in. And we, Jesus Christ, and we will take care of everything else for now. Mainly we will go again with a confidence filter for that, and then cut away most of the points which are not needed, and then we find a nice spot at the object to cut the object itself. I would suggest this object, maybe something like here, so that we cut it like here, no, like this. But when you cut it, make sure to be on a 90 degree viewing angle, the whole table, the platter of the turntable, like this, for example, and then you take the rectangle one, and then you cut everything in the bottom. Now you can see, now that everything is marked, it's important when you work with, I put some clay, Play-Doh clay here, that this is cut, because this is obviously not part of the object. You can also cut it a bit higher, but then you have less overlapping space, which you can then later align. Yeah, because we will do the same with this side as well. So here we go like this, and there we have a hole, so we better cut that and take information from the other side. So this is also a good thing. When we have holes in the bottom part, we cut the bottom part anyway and take the information from the top. So yes, this is the start. This is the point where you will start. So feel free to clean and cut as you think is right. and then we will go to the merging. I will now clean everything and see you right back when we about to merge the two objects. See you over there. With our cleaned object, and this is the bottom part, and you can see I also removed the scale because we don't want to do scaling because you don't have the pro version available, but this is fine, and you can see I cut it somewhat straight. Now we have those triangle shaped tops, and the good thing about this object is there's a lot of structure where the program now can take a look at. And the same situation we also have when we go to the top part. Where did we end up there? And there you can also, let's reset the viewport. Now you can see we have the top part with this pointy thingy on top, and here we have the cut bottom. And now to join those two pieces, we have to first align those two point clouds. And it's generally a good idea to save now. I'm doing that. And sometimes even to just in case have a backup copy. And this is also what we want to do, just in case something went wrong. So we go on the top chunk, go right click and then say duplicate. And we say yes, def maps and point cloud, so we don't have to redo this, and say OK. And then we have a copy of top, and we do the same for the bottom. So we have a backup if anything goes wrong. We just have that, and we can still delete it afterwards to save some storage space. So we go back to our point clouds, and then we go on workflow and say align chunks. Because this is what we want to do now. Of course, now we don't want to align the copy, so we just untick those boxes, and then we are only selected top and bottom, which we actually want to align. And it's the same as with the images. It's the same process. It's aligning similar features, and there are different methods to it. I now have three options: point-based, marker-based, and camera-based. Camera-based takes the locations of our cameras, these, into account. So it takes the position data of the cameras to then align those two chunks. We have different, you can see we have different, we have always this dome around the object. That's where the position of where the images were taken, and this is one way to align the chunks. The other way is point-based, marker-based. Then the program takes the individual markers you put. This is something you can only do the pro version, and for that, if you have access to the pro version, I can recommend you the teaching wiki, because there this is also explained how to do that. And the option we want to do now is point-based, because I had the most experience. You can also try around with camera-based if you like that and see how that works out. In my experience so far, I only used really marker or point-based alignment. Camera-based alignment never helped me, but maybe now it will work. With that object, I actually didn't test it out, so feel free to do that. We will do point-based. We will check the box fit scale, because we want the scale should fit. And then here I really would recommend you choosing high, because this is a very important step, and it also does not take too long. And with that we say OK, and aligning the pointers. And you can see even on my PC here it is somewhat fast, so it does not take too much time, and we're running on a laptop here. And as soon as it's done, that says to match now, and then the two point clouds are aligned, and it's a bit difficult to see because they're not displayed together. They are still in two different chunks, two different packages, but in our perspective window here, they are in this aligned location, or at least how the program thinks they should be aligned. And the more complex an object gets, or the lesser individual features there are, this algorithm is not as good. So this is really, they improved a bit, but I would always, if you want to do that on a grand scale, I would always work with marker-based. You can try the automatic point-based one, but marker-based, where you then put individual markers on both locations. This is the best way to do it. Now we check our alignment, and it does, like, no, you see in our perspective, I don't change the perspective. And when I then double click, this is the zoom scale in our window here, and the location, position, is very similar. So this looks promising, I would argue. And with that, we save again. And then we can go to the next step and say merge chunks. And then we select the chunks which shall be merged. And we say which assets shall be merged. And we say the depth maps and the point clouds shall be merged. If you have models, you can also do it on the model level. I prefer to do it on the point cloud level. And then we also say merge assets. Otherwise, we will have two different point clouds, but we want one big point cloud. We say merge assets and click OK. And then a merging chunk will be created. You already can see on the left here we have the fifth chunk now, the merge chunk, which includes all images and all the type points, and also one big point cloud. And when we open the chunk up, we can close the other ones for a while. See our merge chunk here, and we can see here, let's disable the cameras, we have our merged object, and it really looks good, I will argue. Yes, no, I like it. Yeah, with that object it really worked. Sometimes this automatic alignment is a bit finicky, but here it really worked well. And now, because this is a little point cloud, we can finish the model, texture it, export it, and then we can 3D print it. And in class we can touch the object, feel, and think about what archaeological purpose it had, or put it in a museum or whatever. So I hope you are also at this stage now. Otherwise, let me know. Write me an email. And then you can create a model from that, texture it, and export it. And then you are done. And I hope everything went clear so far. I will now clean up a bit, remove the copy chunks because we don't need them. Yes, and with that, that's how easy you can merge different chunks and pieces of an object together, which is, yes, very useful when you do those object documentation seasons or projects. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have fun trying out yourself, and I hope you will be successful. Good luck and have fun. Bye.